Hi guys, how are you? Hi guys, how are you? So, right Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice? Jubbity boo boo, jubbity boo boo. Nangu, you can reply me, you know. Like, if you hear this, say, type A. Say hey, if you can hear me. Yo, Ted. Mr. Ted. Hi, Drew. Are you watching? Oh, wow, you heard me. Awesome. Type Babidi Boo. Babidi Boo. Oh, live chat. I can see actually. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, I got fans, yo. I'm a Twitch streamer. Hey, Drew, what's up, baby? What's up? Welcome to the RP streamer. Let me get more people on board my stream. Alrighty. So, what we're gonna do today is actually we're gonna have a very interesting stream. This guy is called the Perfect Mansion Workshop, and he's going to what you call uh, he's going to share about how do you build a perfect mansion. So I actually paid like $500 for this. Yeah, so hi guys, if you're still listening, can you type on the group chat, say hi in the live stream. Mr. Drew. Hi Drew. Are you there? Are you there? That's Pretty Penny. What's Pretty Penny? Pretty Penny. Oh, Drew, by the way, my other friend watching is called Ted Nang Wu, and he's an architect. So, yeah. So, Nang Wu is an architect, my good friend from JC, and Nang Wu Drew is my good friend from AIA. Yeah. So, well, we're in this together. It's supposed to start in 1 a.m. Alright? This show supposedly starts at 1 a.m. So, interesting thing about this show is that they offer a money back guarantee. So, let's see if I learn something about this channel. Yeah, so Ted Nang Wu is the top student in CJC. Yeah, in what you call architecture. And Drew is a awesome craftsman and one of the top gamer in LOL. Right. So today we are going to be watching what you call this Perfect Mansion Workshop that I paid quite a bit of money, so we can all watch it together. So this is the Perfect Mansion Workshop, June. So if you don't know, right, this guy is actually pretty interesting. His name is called Arvind Dart. Then why I know about him is because he kind of critiques about very expensive mentions, and he tells you like why it sucks. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so later on, if you got any questions to ask, you can actually ask me, and then I ask them. Let me get my book. So we're going to watch live stream with RP. Alright, let's go watch the RP live stream. So it's supposed to start at like 1 a.m. and I signed up for like the VIP. Try to see if anyone's still awake. Then they can kind of like join in my stream. Hey guys, if you manage to see my message, drop a hi in the live stream below. If you are there, if you can see me. Is there anyone there? Can I even see if anyone's watching? Oh, 3 watching. That's cool. Okay, I'm supposed to. I think she's. Is she sleeping? Wait, let me get her to watch. Okay, I'm trying to build up my traction. Build up my traction, yo. I need to get my followers. Okay, I asked her to watch already. This is in the spirit of education, my friend. Let's call this person to watch too. Let's see if any of them want to watch, and we are 1 minute away. 1 minute away, guys. So let's see what's gonna be there. Anybody see anything? Oh, okay, true. You need to sleep, okay lor. I send a note for payment by payment for what? As draft. Okay, okay. Good nighty. So left Ted Nang U. Left Ted Nang U. Right. Hey, wow, 4 people watching. Who's the 4th person? Hi guys, who's the 4th person? Oh, is it some random?
Recording in progress. Second ever Perfect Mansion Workshop. Yay! We're getting a lot of people in. Let's go, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm so excited. Okay, we got to let a few minutes to go by for everybody to join in. I'm just curious. I like to start it this way. I have a pretty big, broad audience. I want to know where you guys are from, okay? So drop in the city and country you're from. I want to see in the chat where you guys actually live. Okay, Vancouver, Carmel, let's go. Mumbai, India. Aman, did you like that last video? Singapore. Oh wow, we're having a lot from like Southeast Asia. Last time, about 50% of the VIPs only watched the recordings from that part of the New Jersey, Dubai, more Singapore videos, Miami. Here we go. Whoa, it's coming in. LA, Venice. Oh, we got a neighbor. We got a Munich, Deutschland. Yeah, baby. Yay. LA, we got near. That's so cool. Very, very cool. Okay, we're gonna kill some time because again, it takes a few minutes for people to come in, and once we start, we're gonna freaking fly. Okay, we're gonna go really, really fast. But I'm just curious. Press one if you're here because you want to avoid buying the wrong house. You're a buyer, like you still haven't bought your project yet. You want to make sure you buy the right property. Press one if you're that. Okay. And press two if you already have a house or a lot that you're planning to either remodel or design or build. Okay. One if you're a buyer, two if you're looking to design. Okay. Two. Oh, okay. A little bit more twos. Okay. Neither, just education. That's totally fine too. Okay. Three, I want to be as awesome as you. Two, okay. Hey, education is seller of land. That applies as well. Okay. Seller and buyer fundamentals are similar. Don't worry. Buyer, developer. We've had a lot of builders in the last one. A lot of people who developers building homes and everything. Okay. Now I have a bunch of administrative stuff, but before we do that, I'm going to give 2 more minutes. I'm a big Tony Robbins guy. Okay. I really believe in adapting a mindset, the character of the person who I want to become. Okay. I wake up at 4:20 in the mornings and I do incantations. And it's my methodology. You signed up, so I want you to do this with me. Okay. It's important. I don't want this, by the way, to be one of these like lame courses. And that's why, by the way, I'm doing a workshop because I like this interaction. And I think you will learn a lot more than in a 5-day workshop than just the course. Okay, so participate. I ask you guys to participate. You're here, you're putting the time. Let's have fun with it, okay? One of the incantations is for the buyers, and it goes like this. Say this out loud. I don't want any regrets when I buy my next property. If you're a seller, you can say, I don't want any regrets when I sell my property. Say it. Say it out loud. I don't want any regrets when I buy my next property, okay? And then type it in the chat because real estate mistakes are expensive. Type it in. Everybody in the chat. Real estate mistakes are expensive. Okay? Type it in, everybody. Type it in. Real estate mistakes are expensive. Okay? That's right. Real estate expensive. Yes, real estate mistakes are expensive. Okay? Just set your intention. You're here, okay, because you don't want to make a mistake, and you know that mistakes in real estate is not like $100, $200, right? It's thousands, if not millions, depends on the project you're working on. Now, this one is for people who are designing a home, okay? I want to be 100% certain when I submit my plans to the city, okay? I want 100% certainty when I submit my plans to the city. Say it out loud. I want 100% certainty, okay? I don't want doubt. When I'm submitting those plans, I want to have 100% certainty when I submit my plans to the city. Why? Type this in the chat. Because change orders are expensive. Type it in, everybody. Change orders are expensive. Everybody, type it in. Because change orders are expensive. Okay, if you're planning to build, design your dream home, renovation, you're a developer, because change orders are expensive. Type it in, everybody. Okay, good. Good. You want certainty, right? You're here for the certainty. Set your intention. I'm here to learn from Arvin to make sure I have certainty when I submit my plans, okay? Delays are expensive. You can put delays are expensive. Change orders are expensive, right? All that stuff is expensive. You want to have 100% certainty, okay? Good. Now, we're going to do some with 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Look at this, right on time. I'm going to have some water. Okay. Here is 10x money back guarantee. What does this mean? Okay, 100% money back guarantee is if you show up, okay, keep your camera on, show up and participate, do your homework, leave a testimonial, good or bad, okay, I will give your money back at the end of this course. Is that clear, Aaron?
Yes.
What did I do last time?
You offered a refund to everyone, every single person.
Yes. So the whole point of this is that I have zero doubts, okay, that if you show up, if you do your homework, if you show up, and we have to see you on camera, so you don't just show up and leave outside and say like, oh, I showed up and didn't get any value, okay? We have to see you on camera and do your homework because it's a workshop, okay? If you have a project you're working on, great. And if you don't, you should think of a house right now in your head, okay? Or even pick a random one so you can practice with it, okay? It's a workshop. It's not a course, okay? And then if you do all that stuff and leave a testimonial, you don't have to do it on day 1. You can do it day 2, day 3. If you didn't get the value, I think it's fair to ask you, hey, leave a bad testimonial. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so the next person, at least I get something back. I'll give you a full money refund at the end of it. But at least I get something back that I know, okay, I shouldn't do this anymore. Okay, I should tweak it in this way. Is that fair? Can everybody say fair in their text? Is that fair? Good. Okay, that's fair. Then I have to apologize because you're not going to get any sleep in the next 5 days. Okay, I'm going to teach you so much. You're not going to want the teaching to stop after that. And you're going to wake up in the middle of the night, give your own layout or the future plan you're planning to build at C-, and say, how come the principle A, when I improve the principle A, the principle B gets affected? Okay, and I only have this budget. What am I supposed to do? Which one am I supposed to prioritize? Okay. The whole course is designed so by day 5 you will have clarity. Okay, day 1, 2, 3 we're going to build the fundamentals. Day 4 we're going to practice. Day 5 is going to come together. Okay, so I'm going to be in your brain and I'm going to give you a lot of homework. Okay, there's fun homework, but it's very hands-on homework. Okay, but I'm going to be in your head. I'm telling you, I'm not joking about this. I'm going to be in your head. You're going to dream about me. I'm going to be in your dreams, scoring and critiquing properties in the next 5 days. And I already apologize for that, okay? C is I like to have fun, okay? If you've seen my videos, hopefully you've seen a lot of my videos, you know I like to joke around. I like to have fun. I like to be goofy. And sometimes I use cuss words, okay, when I get really, really excited. If you feel like you're going to be affected by that or upset about me being me, okay, then ask for a refund right now. And Aaron will give you a refund right now, okay? I totally understand. I'm not for everyone. But I'm not going to change my style, my humor during this course. It's going to be the same Arvin, okay? So full disclosure, if you're not ready for that, just ask for a refund right now. We'll refund your money. Is that fair? No sleep. Okay, good. Okay, now, how many of you guys have been to a webinar where, this is the last one, how many of you guys have been to a webinar where the whole time they were trying to teach you, sell you something else? Raise your hand. If you've been to a webinar where the whole time, all of them. Okay, good. How many of you been to a webinar where they kind of held something back and asked you for more money at the end to teach you the real stuff? How many of you guys have had that experience? Anybody? How many of you guys have that? Okay. This is not going to be one of them. I'm going to teach you everything I know physically, humanly possible, okay, in 5 days, okay? You're going to see, once we get started, it's going to go. It's going to go really, really fast. I'm going to teach you everything I know physically possible in 5 days, but I'm not going to do it for you, okay? I will teach you all my principles, and by the end of this 5-day workshop, you're going to be on your way to mastery. You're going to practice, and you will really, really be significantly ahead of anyone else. When you're looking to design your own projects or buy the next property, you will definitely have the alphabet and you'll be on your way. But I'm not going to critique your house for you, okay? I'm not going to critique your design for you. This is not for everyone. For a very selected few of you, probably a handful, okay? You will go through this whole program and say, you know what, Arvin, at the end of it, I want you to do it for me, okay? Not teach you. I want you to do it for me. I want 12 months of support throughout the whole year, okay, that you critique my design. Every time I get a revision from my architect, you critique it for me. When I'm planning to put the house on the lot, I will know where to put it. My finishes, my architectural design, my contractor, my listing agents. So if I'm planning to sell the property or buy the property, how to negotiate. I want 12 months of support. I understand your ideology. I understand your psychology. I understand the methodology you use to do this. Okay, and I want you to do it for me. At the last day, not any time during this time, what we're doing, outside of the time frame that you paid for, I will give an opportunity for people who want me to do the project with them, okay? Be on their side week in, week out to do it for them, okay? And you have to apply for it. It's not for everyone, okay? It's expensive. It's not for everyone. It has to pencil in. You would know by the end if it's for you or not. I'm going to give you that offer at the end outside of this time frame. Is that fair? Is that fair? Okay, and meantime, I'm not going to talk about that, okay? I'm not going to talk about that whole the inner circle thing. This whole time is going to be about teaching you the fundamentals. At the end, you would know. Are you guys ready? I'm done with my. Okay, let's go over the curriculum. Okay, so today, day one, we're going to do location, lot quality, lot utilization. Day two, lot orientation, privacy, and views. Day three, architectural style, finishes, layout, scale, and volume. You would, by these first 3 days, you will know what elements affect each factor. This is the alphabet, okay? First 3 days, you're gonna start understanding my language, okay? The methodology, the principles. Day four, we're gonna practice these principles, okay? This is the funnest day. The last workshop, day four, was the funnest by far, because you actually get to critique homes like me, and we critique them together. And we're going to talk about different buyers' avatars of how they behave, right, for resale value, how they behave, and what they want from different principles, and which ones we should target. Day five, we're going to talk about how to make improvements to these principles, like architectural style, okay, to attract the right avatar we want. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. You want to spot the flaw. Okay, good. So day four is practice. Day 1, 2, 3, and talk about avatars of buyers who are attracted to the first step. Day five, we're going to talk about how to make an improvement on a principle, right? Because you can change them. Like, how do you improve an architectural style? How do you improve a layout, right? This is what you're here for. So, but first you need to know what are the things that you can improve, and that's what we're going to talk about. Are you guys ready? Should we get started? Okay, that only took 13 minutes. Now, we're going to go. You're going to see. You're going to learn more in this course than a bachelor degree or master's degree you've had. The amount of financial, how this will financially affect you by the time you retire will be significantly more than any 5,000, 10,000 course you've taken online. It's going to be a lot. Let's jump into it. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go from there. Aaron, how you doing, buddy? Anyone has questions? You can ask Aaron. Oh, I didn't introduce Aaron. Aaron is my right-hand man, okay? Aaron comes from, he was the creative director at NOS Daily. I don't know, he's a big social media group, NOS himself. He was a creative director there. He is the man of many skills. He's my right-hand man. He helps me with my workshop. He works with me a lot of stuff. You want to talk to me, you go through Aaron, and Aaron will direct you, answer your questions, all that stuff, okay? Now, I am ready to go over location. Let's do this. Let's go. Okay. There's three main factors, okay? These are the elements that affect location of a property, okay? And at the end of it, I'm going to give you guys an example of Beverly Hills, okay? You're going to really like this. But first, I'm going to tell you what they are, and then I'm going to show you as the example of Beverly Hills as a case study, okay? The first most expensive that affect the value, resale value, future value of a neighborhood is zoning, okay? And by the way, if you don't have this at the end, I'm going to give you this, so I don't want to show this ahead, so you're going to jump ahead and start reading it. I want you to be focused on what I'm saying. At the end of each day, Aaron's going to send you this full format, so you're going to have access to this, okay? Just pay attention, listen. Zoning. What is zoning? Zoning is the government regulations, right, that the city council has passed, what is allowed to be built in this neighborhood. This is one of the most significant impacts of it, okay? And it dictates lot sizes, okay? So you will see zoning, how small you can actually make a lot for a single family home. Some like in some neighborhoods, you're not allowed to go smaller than a certain size, right? And then you have the other element is tight regulation. So restrictions on zoning, right? Restricting overbuilding, preserving neighborhood quality. So, for example, it would not allow for a single family house to be converted to a duplex, or a duplex to a fourplex, or a fourplex to a multifamily. The tighter it is, the better. Now you're like, Arvin, I thought looser is better. No. I'm talking about luxury. My perspective of single family homes, how we're approaching this, is about luxury and how you preserve that luxury. So if you see a neighborhood that only allows you 25% build to lot ratio, so if you have 1,000 square meter or 1,000 square feet lot, the house is only allowed to have 25% of that. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay, that means this neighborhood is a luxury neighborhood. It has potential to become more luxury. Okay, another element is large setbacks. Okay. increases privacy, creates more prestige and curb appeal. So some neighborhoods, the frontage, like for example, the front yard has a minimum setbacks of like 25 feet. No house could be closer to that. Okay. So again, restrictive is better. Underbuilt areas. Another element is that you want to look at neighborhoods that have a lot of homes that are underbuilt in them. Okay, a good example of this would be, for example, Woodland Hills in the Valley of Los Angeles. Okay, there's a ton of older homes with really big lots, right? So, for example, example of this, I'm going to show you guys Beverly Hills, but this would be another example. In Woodland Hills, there's a lot of older homes, and lot restrictions are severe. Like, for example, you can only build 25% of your lot. As to majority of Los Angeles, you can build 40% or 45%. Okay, so what does that tell you? Woodland Hills in Los Angeles has upside. So as the new homes are flipped over the next 10, 20 years, that's a good place to invest. Okay, now there's other elements like commercial zoning. Okay, now Woodland Hills is designed according to zoning to be the commercial hub of Los Angeles in the Valley. It's going to be the downtown of the Valley. But as far as you're concerned, for your property that you're planning to build or buy, you want to be away from that. The farther away you are from commercial zoning, it's a better property to purchase. It's a better property to do a flip. It's a better property to design. I'm going to show you that in the example when I go over Beverly Hills. Okay. So first is zoning. 2, privacy and security. Okay. Having a gated community in the neighborhood is great, but not just for the houses in the community. Gated communities attract other high-end homes around it as well. Okay, so having a gated community in a neighborhood, it basically establishes that attracts the right demographic of people who would spend a lot of money and make that neighborhood more prosperous. Okay, it's more expensive, so it has a kind of a trickle down effect on the entire neighborhood if you have a gated community within the neighborhood. Okay, cul-de-sacs. Privacy and security. Cul-de-sacs, okay, properties in cul-de-sacs have lower traffic, quieter environmental, and are more kid-friendly because kids can play in them, okay? So if you're looking at a neighborhood, some of the most expensive lots are at the end of a cul-de-sac, okay, or on a street that is dead end, right? And one of the reasons is crime. Like, thieves don't like to rob homes on cul-de-sacs because if the alarm goes off and the cops block the exit to the street, he doesn't have a quick exit, right? He has to be on his foot and his canines and all that stuff. Okay, major roads. You want to be away from major roads. Now, interestingly, major roads play a huge impact on how neighborhoods are divided. Okay, they really define going from a middle to high end or low end to middle end, right? You will see that when I give you a Beverly Hills example. You will see that how roads create a major barrier and a change. Like a neighborhood flips as soon as you cross the road. What you also want to make sure is that your property is away from major roads, okay? That's as far as the location of your own house, okay? Third, and the most important, okay, that really kind of could break all the other ones that I just talked about, okay, is higher education. I've read a book. I will include it in the homework assignment. Higher education is the #1 indicator of a neighborhood thriving. Okay, how many people have a master's degree and above in a neighborhood significantly impact the growth potential of a neighborhood. And if that number changes in the positive, better. If it goes the other way, it's worse. Okay. Now, why? There's less panic selling. Okay. They have more income. More educated homeowners typically make smarter financial decisions during downtime. Okay. Economic growth. Educated population drive local businesses and innovation increases home demand. So what does that mean? You see, every white collar job, okay, that is produced in a neighborhood, it creates 5 blue collar jobs. Why? For example, if you can see this, for example, in the neighborhood of Venice and Santa Monica, Venice particularly, okay? When about 10, 15 years ago, Silicon Beach became a thing, right? Where a lot of tech companies that wanted to focus on media and some that didn't have anything to do with media started opening offices in Venice Beach and Santa Monica. That significantly impacted the home prices in that neighborhood. Why? Because people who get high, very, very high paying tech jobs, okay, and it could be medical, it could be tech, it could be life sciences, all those industries, okay, they spend a lot of money. And typically, both husband and wife also work, which is a kind of a double, and they're both successful. Okay, so each household that gets purchased by this, you get two workhorses that coming in, and these people spend money. What do they spend money on? They get their hair done more often. They get their nails done more often. They get massages. They have a life coach. They get haircuts more often. They order delivery more often. They have a car. They pay insurance, but they use Uber more often. Okay, so it has a 5x effect how many jobs they actually employ. And what that does is attracts more and more people to that neighborhood. Okay, super, super important to know. Now, I'm going to give an example of Beverly Hills and show you every single one of the aspects I just talked about, okay, as a case study. I'm going to stop sharing right now, and I'm going to close this.
How are you all doing? Quick check-in with
Did you
everyone.
guys, yeah, everybody got value so far? This is the location that we're going to show you guys the example. Are you guys ready for this?
Yep. I see nodding. Love that
Okay.
you'll have your cameras on, by the way. That's thank you. It feels really nice. And for anyone at any point, if you want to see everyone else, if for some reason you only see Arvin right now and you want to fix that, you can hit view and gallery. So that way you'll see Arvin, but also some of the other people on call. Okay, perfect.
Okay, are you guys ready? Beverly Hills, guys, is one of the best case studies. And I'll tell you the story how, funny story, how I got to know Beverly Hills so well, okay? This is the borderline of Beverly. First of all, you should know that Beverly Hills is not Los Angeles. It's an incorporated city of its own, okay? Now, can you guess near, I know you know this because you're from LA, but can you guess which parts of this neighborhood is the least expensive, which parts are the most expensive? By just looking at this map. You should be able to learn this. This is very important. When you're doing research on purchasing a property, okay, or even evaluating the location of your property to know what finishes that you need to put so you get the right exit price when you go out of it for resale, okay, you should know how to evaluate your location very good. It's probably one of the most important elements. Can you tell which parts are the least expensive and which parts are the most expensive? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you the answer. Okay, I'm going to start with the least expensive. This part, you see this part, Beverly Hills, right? This is Beverly Hills south of Olympic. This is where the poorest Beverly Hillians live. Okay, these are the peasants. This is, I'm joking, obviously, but these are like $2 million homes, okay? $2 to $3 million homes. South of Olympic is the poorest neighborhood within Beverly Hills. And when you zoom in, what do you see? You see multifamily next to single family home, okay? And it's separated by a street called Olympic. The second least expensive area is Beverly Hills. I'm going to zoom out from here so you can see south of Wilshire. Okay, Beverly Hills south of Wilshire. Now let's look at properties over here. Let me open up the other file next to me so I can go one by one and address them. Here we go. Okay. Now pay attention. Let me go one by one. Okay. Lot sizes. Okay. So lot sizes in Beverly Hills south of Wilshire is about 5 to 7,000 square foot. Really small lots. Okay. And the side setbacks are tiny. I mean, 3 foot. Some of the older ones are literally on the property line. Now these properties trade from like 2.5 for an empty lot all the way to like 6.5, like a done house with a basement. But they're tiny, right? It's overpacked. The width of the streets are narrow. Okay, the width of a street says a lot. Okay, element of it. Okay, so this is one of the least expensive neighborhoods. Okay, now we're going to talk about the commercial center of Beverly Hills. This is the Golden Triangle. This is where the Rodeo Drive is. Okay, this is where all the businesses come. And guess what? All the plastic surgeons are here. All the boob jobs, facelifts. They all are stationed over here. Okay, and this is the financial hub. All the high-end brokerages, like the agency, all the ones that like you see on TV, their offices are over here. Well, actually, the agency is over here, but most of them are over here, and very expensive medical buildings. And this is the financial hub. And guess what? When this guy who was working his butt off, okay, to start a startup like me, like ZipSmart.ai, it's one of my startup. I'm launching my second startup, which complements ZipSmart.ai. But that's not the point. Once he starts his startup, he's working, from his basement, or whatever, from his garage, like I am right now. And at one point, the company hits. Where do you think he's gonna get an office? He's gonna get an office in Beverly Hills. And guess what? Who's employed over here, okay, is gonna try to come in the areas around it. So this is a neighborhood south of here. It's called Beverlywood, okay, or this is Santa Monica. So they're gonna come in the vicinity of this area because this guy who was working his butt off, his wife was also working, who's spending money, is a white collar guy, right? Is a tech guy, let's say, opens his office over here and brings the same type of people that he is, like, let's say, has the same skill sets over here. And guess where they're going to buy a home? They're going to come buy his house, and he's going to be like, I just raised, $10 million. I took $2 million in. I'm going to go buy a property in Beverly Hills Flats. Okay, so did you see that trigger effect? Okay, somebody came from another neighborhood, bought his lot from, let's say, he hired a tech engineer from Bay Area, San Francisco, okay, where a lot of tech guys are there. He sold his own house to him, okay, and because he's just made some money, he came and bought in Beverly Hills Flat. Now, before I go in more details about Beverly Hills Flat and Beverly Hills North of Sunset, I got to tell you how I learned this stuff. Very early on in my agent career, I was trying to get a client who owned a lot of homes in Beverly Hills and throughout LA, and he was flipping these. He had a big family. He was a Persian guy, very, very successful, and I was trying to get him as a client. And my pitch with him was that he loved speaking Farsi with me because his own kids didn't speak Farsi. So, and I was cracking jokes in Farsi. I was saying funny stuff that his kids wouldn't say, and we built a very good friendship he just really liked me. Okay, but I realized that he knows significantly more than I do. He didn't really need me at all. Okay, I thought like I was trying to tell him, so I was like, oh my God, I need to shut up and just listen to this guy. He is so much more knowledgeable than me, okay? And I realized that I need him more than he needs me, and we made a deal, okay? He basically told me if I would represent him for 50%, if I give him back 50% of my commission to him, which at that time was $40,000, he would teach me everything he knew. I was pissed. I was like, at the time, I really needed the money, but I paid and I learned. And it was one of the most important lessons I had learned, right? And he taught me all the stuff that I'm teaching about how to analyze a neighborhood, how to street sizes, lot sizes, oriented. He taught me a wealth of knowledge, okay? And at the time I was pissed that I gave him so much money because he didn't need money, but he made me pay anyways. But in retrospect, it was one of the most important lessons I learned. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. What is the most obvious thing when you look at this Beverly Hills Flats? By the way, this is the part that you see the pictures in Beverly Hills, the palm trees going through the streets. This is what the people come take pictures here, okay? In fact, let me see if I can drop a point. No, let me see if I can, where is he? So if you come over here, for example, here we go. You've seen these pictures, right? Okay. This is Beverly Hills. This is the main Beverly Hills. The most obvious thing that to you, it should be that this is a planned neighborhood. Nature doesn't create this pattern. You see how it's beautiful, but it's man designed. You see how the roads curve around, which is an interesting story because they thought if you could see at the end of the street, the other side, it would decrease its value. So on purpose, they made them shape like this. So you couldn't see the end of the street, which would have a more storytelling setup. But most important is that a lot of people think this is the most expensive part of the Beverly Hills, but it's not. Okay. The area above it, Beverly Hills north of Sunset, which is not planned, right? You can see like the streets are not organized in the same manner as Beverly Hills flat. Okay. So this, a tear down would be around 6 million, 6.5, 7 million nowadays. And big exit would be around $35 million if it's a big lot, double lot, let's say. And everything in between. But the most interesting part, and this is like a thing that most tourists who come by in Beverly Hills have no idea, is that they think all the blocks are the same. They don't know this. They don't know the fact that the 500 to the commercial center of Beverly Hills is the least desirable that happen. The crime in commercial areas skyrocketed over here. I mean, Beverly Hills, they had sandbags and machine guns over here, the local police, okay? It was crazy. And these areas were in the closest vicinity to the commercial center. As you go farther out, away from the commercial area, it becomes more and more expensive. That if you were, let's say, visiting here, buying from Switzerland, okay, you come over here, you would be like, oh, this is walking distance to the commercial center. This is where I want to be. When in reality, your real estate agent won't tell you that. I'll be like, yeah, it's walkable, it's great. 500 block, go, buy, right? When in reality, 600 block is way better, 700 block is way better, and actually being a little farther away is much better than any of the houses on the 500 block. Now, interestingly, the divide is Santa Monica Boulevard, another major road, right? Dividing the commercial center to the second best location within Beverly Hills. And when you come over here, you have Sunset Boulevard, another major road, okay? So when you're looking at a neighborhood to purchase a property in, I want you to look at zoom out, okay? Everyone just jumps into the kitchen pictures and the finishes. That's the least important element that you got to pay attention to, okay? I don't even look at the pictures first. I will show you guys how I look at pictures, and I do that in my buyer's lounge. But this is how you got to look at it. You got to zoom out. Look at this. Look at the grid. Look at the city grid. Okay, how are these houses sitting? What are the good streets over here? Okay, which streets will have the least amount of traffic? For example, look at this. One of the worst streets that you see people make mistakes is Rexford. Okay, not just there's a school in there. Okay, this is a elementary school over here. You also, this street connects to an artery that goes to the valley, Coldwater Canyon. Okay, everyone in the valley, instead of taking the 405, takes the street. So in the mornings and the afternoon, this is lined up in traffic. So if your real estate agent shows you the street at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you would never know that. Okay, because that's not where the traffic is. But even if you come farther down, this is where the fire department is. This is where the city council is. This is where the police department is. It's a shit show. This street is a shit show. So once in a while, you see a foreigner buyer comes in, and a lot of foreign buyers are attracted to Beverly Hills because of its brand and everything. And they come by over here and they think they got a good deal, and they just know what I ever told them. So you got to pay attention to the grid. If it's a city pattern grid, it's typically not the best. Okay, you want to look at areas where I'll show you guys some of the examples of the most expensive homes. This is Jeff Bezos' house right here. Okay, 6-7 acres. You come over here. This is Steve Wynn's house. I've shown this house multiple times to a client. This is the Davis's house. You come over here. This is a current client's house. Inner Circle client. We have, here's the Doheny Estate, very, very famous house on the property. One of my favorite streets in LA is this street. Look at this. Stonewood Drive. Tiny, under the radar. No one knows about it. Very, very few people know about it. Okay? This is the first level of a neighborhood where it's end of a cul-de-sac. Do you see that? Is it all coming together, guys? Tell me in the comments. Is this starting to make sense? I'm not looking at the comments. Is this starting to make sense, guys? Say yes if it is.
Yep. See yes from Shadow already. See people nodding. Yep.
Okay. So you look at the grid system of your city. And then you like, this is the WhatsApp owner's house. the founder of WhatsApp. And this area is Truesdale Estates, where you have view property, 1-story properties. This extension of Beverly Hills that goes up. It's Beverly Hills proper. So what are we learning as far as the location goes? Okay, the first glance, the first thing you should do, you should zoom out, look at your city with respect to schools, major roads, street width, cul-de-sacs, proximity to noise of the major streets, commercial centers, multifamily. You want to be away from multifamily zoning. Okay, all these elements affect the location score. Got it? Everybody's clear on location? Okay, you're gonna see this. We're gonna practice stuff on day 4, but this is the fundamental of picking a good location. Street width, lot sizes. It's in the notes. Okay, you're gonna get all of it. Okay, less fixed pattern is more valuable. Exactly. Okay, exactly. More like, even look at, this is Lower Bel Air. Am I sharing this screen, guys?
Yes, you are.
Look at this. This is Lower Bel Air. Another this is Jay-Z's house. Jay-Z and Beyonce. This is Tom Cruise's house. This is the house I have a video on that went to auction. Look at how disorganized this is. This is good. Okay? This is good. This is what you want. You don't want planned neighborhood. Okay? And typically, these areas have bigger lots too.
Arvin, quick question in the chat that's relevant. Would you say that concept of unplanned being better is generally applicable globally?
Yes. Yes. You see, the whole concept is that you don't want to have a comp. You understand that? The least amount of properties that can comp with you, better. In this area, why is it so important? In this area, it's so easy to comp these properties, right? This one's going to be just like this one. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that happen in real estate, but not if I'm representing you. Like, you're not going to make a mistake. I'm going to tell you exactly what you have to pay attention to. But technically speaking, all these properties have the same lot sizes. They're on the same street, same lot orientation, same amount, same direction of the sun, same privacy. So it's very easy to comp. But when you get to this level, okay, like, what's the comp for this one, right? Maybe there is like this property, there's one. So you get to have the flexibility, okay, to tell your own story, to set yourself apart. And when I teach you all the other stuff, architectural style, design, all these other elements that would do it, once you choose a location, right? That's why they say, be the C house in a neighborhood, okay? Because you're not going to have comps. You can confuse, it's muddy waters, okay? You can set a totally different story. Guys, we got to go. It's 10:40. I have 20 more minutes. I need to go to the other ones, okay? I told you guys going to be action-packed. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm not kidding when I say that. Okay, so now I need to stop sharing this one, and I need to go to this one. Okay, we're going to go back to this document. Here, come over here. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Higher education, we talked about. Okay, lot sizes. Okay. Now, this is just very simple stuff. Just kind of rule of thumb I've kept because I thought it would be valuable. I personally believe, personal opinion, if you trust me, you're here, you probably do trust me, it's at 15,000 square foot flat lot is where the magic starts happening. Okay. How do I know this? It's just experience. Okay. Again, if you want to know like where the really luxury starts, in my opinion, is at a 15,000 square foot lot. So about 1,500 square meters if you're a meter system. Okay. And the ideal for building a 5,500 square foot to 6,500 square foot, 550 square meter, 650 square meter forever home. Okay. And remember, the system is based on the flat. Okay. Not hillside. Okay. Flat. This is just extra information. And then lot shape evaluation. Again, this is rule of thumb. I'm not going to go into it. I just have it for you for the workshop. But the rule of thumb is that the smaller the lot is, rectangular shape works better. Okay, when you start going to bigger and bigger lot, the ratio of width to length, okay, can be more even to square shapes. Okay, it works better with square shapes. Depending on your setbacks, there's a lot of elements in play, but I just have kept this as a reference for you. Okay, that you will look at, that this is what's kind of normal to me. Okay, so if later on you're designing your home, you can look at this ratio and measure it when you're buying a lot. Just pay attention to that. Okay, so good for bigger homes. Entering custom estate stays at 30,000 square foot, the ratio is 1.5 to 1 to 2. Then at 60,000 square foot, you can really go 1 to 1, the width to length. Now, it would really matter what architectural style you do. For example, on a 60,000 square foot or 30,000 square foot, you still probably would want an L-shaped home. Okay, it would utilize the lot better. Again, you're going to learn about how these principles play in with each other. Okay, so if you have a 20,000 square foot lot, what kind of an architectural style, what shape house you want, and then what architectural style would benefit that shape the most. Okay, there's a lot of moving parts. There's 10 moving parts. Okay, don't worry. We're going to cover all of them one by one. And then day 4, day 5, we're going to practice and they come together. Okay, so now rectangular shapes are highly efficient for home layouts and yard division. When smaller, deeper lots make sense, but at certain size, things become far and square-shaped lots become more ideal. That's the key principle there. Okay. Now I'm going to go over. This is basically the same thing. Lot shapes. Okay. There's a lot of different lots. I'm going to analyze all these different lots that you're going to come across. Very important. These are, again, we're talking about lot quality right now. Okay. So flatness of the lot, the dimensions of the lot, now the lot shape, overall shape. Okay. Rectangular shop. This is rectangular lot. This is the most common lot. Most likely you live in a rectangular lot right now. Okay, very common, and it's this one. You see it? Let me do this one. Here we go. This is it. Okay. Now, what are the pros and what are the negatives? Oh, now I gotta erase this. Here we go. Okay, pros. Most efficient lot shape for urban development. This is not good for you. Okay, this is for the city planner or the guy who bought the subdivision. The way that they can maximize profit is by doing square lots next to each other. That's why almost everywhere in the world you see square shops next to each other. That doesn't mean it's good. Okay, but it does have a benefit that your architect, okay, your designer, whoever you're working with, who doesn't have the, who doesn't look at every single property that is built in the last, in 1,500 square, analyzes everybody else's work. They only analyze their own work. Okay, this is an important issue because a lot of people think, okay, oh, my architect would know this stuff. No, your architect will only know the projects he's worked on. Okay, there are very few people, and I'm not saying this to brag about myself. I really hope there will be more people like me. I really hope there will be this. I would start a trend of having more analysts out there, because I've analyzed perhaps over 200 different architects' works. Okay, architects are not in the business of analyzing other people's work to learn from them. Very, very few people. I don't know anyone else who does what I do. Okay, who analyzes many different styles of everyone else and sees and measures and weights to see how it's sold, and then takes that data and calculates their opinion and creates a palette. Right. So why do you guys watch me? Because I have this wealth of knowledge. I've put my 10,000 hours to achieve mastery, to learn all this stuff. Now my brain does all this stuff automatically. Analyzes the property, gives you an answer really quick, right? I don't even know how I do it, but I've reversed engineered to this course. Okay, that's why I'm passionate about teaching this stuff, because I want to give you guys the information so you can do it yourself. If someone copies me, starts analyzing properties on the internet, I'll be so happy. I would not hate. I'll promise you. This is my thing. Like, I want to change the industry in that way. Okay, so it forces the grid. Now, what is the con? Forces the grid system, reducing neighborhood character and luxury feel. We talked about that, right? So the more irregular, the better it is. Okay. Now we're gonna go down. That was an easy one. Okay, flag lots. Now, flag lots are, some people hate them, some people don't like them. I like them, and they're very popular in Los Angeles because we have so many celebrities. Okay, what are the benefits? What is the flag lot? It's this shape. You see this? Okay, so you don't have really a frontage on the street. You have a driveway. Okay, now this is very popular in Los Angeles, and normally it requires a premium. Why? Um, Now, what are the good things about it? Cheaper than most other lots. Okay, a lot of times, again, I don't know about Los Angeles, but most other cities you will be able to find them cheaper than other properties. Less traffic noise because you're stepped away from the street. Okay, more nature and design freedom. Okay, so you normally surrounded with more trees. It's like in the middle of the subdivision where there's typically more landscaping in there. Okay, what are the cons? No city or county driveway maintenance. This driveway, you have to maintain it yourself. Okay. Also, the city is not going to bring your electricity, plumbing, gas to your lot. They're going to give it to you over here, meaning you have to transport them to the house yourself. That's extra cost. Okay. No curb appeal. Now, no one's going to come to your property and see your property to have a curb appeal. A lot of times, like in the South, curb appeal is super, super important, and you're not going to have this because no one can see your property, right? And less privacy with neighbors. Typically, flag lots have a lot more neighbors. Okay, look, pay attention. Like this property has 2 neighbors. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's almost common. I once sold a flag lot. I think it had 7 neighbors, and I sold it to one of the neighbors. Okay, pie-shaped lot, large backyard. Which one is the pie-shaped lot? It is this one. Okay, so it has a narrow front but a wide back. You normally find them at the end of a cul-de-sac. Okay, and here are the pros and cons. Large backyard. Cons are limited parking space up front. Because it's at the end of a cul-de-sac, first of all, it's hard to park because the curb is curving, okay? So the car is always kind of sits in a weird way. You have less curb appeal. Why? Because your garage, right, you need a garage, takes a significant portion of the front facade. As to a regular home, will have maybe the garage is maybe 25% of the front facade, 75% is the actual facade. When you have a tight frontage, you see your garage a lot of time. You didn't see this coming, did you? Okay. Your garage is 50% of the front facade. Not good, right? Garage is not a sexy, it's not sexy time, right? It's not really a beautiful thing, okay? But because they have a bigger backyard, they're more expensive price per square foot, okay? Now, we're going to talk about reverse pie shape, okay? Now, the opposite of that, okay? This is perhaps the worst of the worst lots. Pay attention. Reverse pie. It's the opposite of the other one. First of all, well, let me go read it, okay? Wide frontage with narrow backyard. Pros. Great curb appeal. Good. You have exactly the opposite. You have a garage. You have a grand facade. It looks really good up front, okay? And a lot of parking space. Again, you still have that curb issue, but you have a lot of parking space. Con, you have a really small backyard. So almost internationally, everywhere, people value backyard more than the front yard, okay? Typically less desirable for backyard focused buyers, but one of the other elements that I didn't have written down over here is that they're normally at a curve of a street. So you have your ingress and egress, getting in and out of the property is dangerous, right? Because when you're getting out from I think that makes sense to you guys. But if you're getting out from your garage this way, you're not going to see this car coming this way, right? And if you're trying to go in this way, this car might come and hit you from this angle. What a beautiful drawing. Call me Picasso, okay? So that is reverse pie, okay? Stay away. It's again, you wouldn't know this. Now, one of my favorite lots, guess whose house is this? Can you guys guess in the chat? Are you guys getting value? Are you starting to see, like, do you know how much this stuff I'm teaching you, how much impact it's going to have in your lifetime? Who's getting value here? Okay. Is anyone getting value over here? Did you guys know about this stuff? Okay. I doubt I'm sure most of you guys took a lot of stuff that you didn't even think about, you didn't even know about. Okay. Now tell me, who do you think this house is for? Whose house is this?
See one comment saying Elon Musk.
No, he sold all his stuff. By the way, did you guys know I showed one of his houses? I showed his house in Hillsborough. I should make a video on that. That was a funny experience. Okay, but this house is Oprah Winfrey's house in Montecito. Okay, I think I counted. It had like 20 or 30 different neighbors. Okay, this is like 20 parcels that have been combined, and these I'll tell you the pros and cons of this one. Oh my God, I have 9 minutes. We need to go. Okay, unique design features if you have the right team. Me, great architect. I'm not the only person who's great at this stuff. If you have the right team, this is where like you can really do storytelling. You can do magic. You can like it. It excites me. Okay, irregular shaped lots excites me. I think there's if you hire the right person, you have a lot of opportunity. Con, harder to design, fence, and maximize space. Typically, you have a lot of neighbors, okay? And you might have neighbor issues. Like, can you imagine talking about property lines with every one of these neighbors? Like the fence falls over, or you could have like legal issues, like in neighbors being right next to each other. Less neighbors is always better, okay? And this is a negative. There's no sugarcoating it. That's a negative of irregular lot, okay? And it's harder to design if you don't have the right team, right? If you don't know how to allocate spaces, right? So it becomes a little bit more difficult, okay? Now, through or street to street lots are very simple. You have one street on this side, one street on this side. Lot with frontage on two generally parallel streets. Pros: dual access for driveways, deliveries, guest houses. So you can have a guest house here that has its own access, so it doesn't have to go through the lot, and you can have the main house over here. Flexible front and back entrance. Let's say this street goes to shit, okay? They start building like multi-family houses over here, and this is an empty lot. You're like, you know what? I'm going to get the address of this street because this street is more prestigious, okay? And I'm going to position the house over here. I'm going to put the backyard over there. So it gives you flexibility, okay? Great resale value for multi-generational living. For families, like more like, like let's say, cultures that a lot of they have family living, Indian, Chinese, Persian, Israeli, African, more ethnic cultures that have that multi-generational living together. They would really gravitate towards these elements. Okay, con. Reduce backyard space. For privacy, double street noise. You get noise from two streets. Okay. Security challenge with two access points. You have more security concerns as far as theft goes, right? They can come from here, run away from the other side. You need more privacy for that. Okay. Now, key lot. Okay. Key lot is one of the worst lots. The problem with a key lot is that you put the house over here. Like I helped one of my best friends buy a house. In the Bay Area. I was not involved as their agent, but I was just helping them. And what happened here? Was that me? Okay. So if you put the house as the key lot, the problem with the key lot, okay? If you put the house over here, this is your front yard, this is your backyard swimming pool, okay? And this house is over here. This house has a direct view to your backyard. Not ideal, okay? Not ideal. It's not good. As to if you were a regular home, the side of your house would be on the side of their house, right? If, like, let's say if the house was here and this house was over here, right? Your sides are touching each other. Your backyards have the freedom, right? You don't have the one backyard looking to another backyard, okay? So when you have a key lot, it's not ideal. This is another key lot. You see, you have 3 houses looking into your lot, or 4 houses, 5 houses, a lot of houses. Not ideal, not good. Pros: sometimes larger than standard lot, less street noise, can be more affordable. That's true. I remember my friend got a discount. But again, most people don't even realize. Like my friend didn't know he was buying a key lot. He didn't understand it, and it was an empty lot. There was not even a house in there. It was like literally a hut in there. Okay, but he didn't understand, and that this is a negative. Okay. And now when I talked him into it, I was like, you need to get a discount for this, okay? This is not ideal because you're going to have privacy issues, okay? Privacy concerns, reverse corner lot. This is even worse, okay? This would be this lot. This would be this lot, okay? Now you have this house, okay? Depending on where you have it. You have the side of this house. Let me actually draw it this way. Again, if the house is already existing is something, or you can design to avoid this, okay? But let's say if they built the house over here, this is your front driveway, and this is your backyard, okay? Now, if this house is positioned this way, okay, where the front yard is here, then the side of this, first of all, you got to look at the side of his house, which is ugly. Like, no one makes a beautiful side of a house. Typically speaking, on a house that is built on a rectangular shape, their sides, the sides of the house are least desirable. And guess what? That's what you're looking at from your backyard. When you go to your backyard, you're looking at the side of a house. And guess what? They're looking into your backyard from the ugly side of their house. Not ideal. Got it? Okay? Not good. I'm not going to go into more details. It's all over here. Oh my God, we have three. Guys, do I have your permission to go a little bit over VIP? I will add a little bit time at the end. Do I have your permission to go a little bit over? I respect your time, I'm sorry, but I want to make sure we cover everything here. Thank you. Okay.
Arvin apologizing because he wants to teach you a little extra. I hope y'all don't mind.
Okay. So, cul-de-sac lots, okay? This is very important. These are good lots, okay? They typically end up being a trapezoidal, okay? These are very good lots that you should gravitate towards. Why? You have side yards that typically you could have a half-court basketball, you could have a vegetable garden. This is where you could have your kitchen opening on this side. Let's say if this is east-facing, okay? Then your kitchen is positioned over here. This is where you have your vegetable garden. You go there, you pick your cucumbers if you're a Persian. And then on this side, your kids are playing basketball, okay? And then you still have the backyard over here. Okay, very cool, very ideal. You also creates a little community. Theft. Kids are playing, hockey in the street or soccer in the street. It's definitely more expensive. End of cul-de-sac has a lot of security, but not if it backs up to a freeway. Okay, one of my clients bought a cul-de-sac and it was like, it's great, and then I found out that it's literally behind 101. Okay, it's not at every expense. Okay, so cons, odd shaped lots, harder to design. Again, it could be harder to design. Again, most architects, in my experience, and builders are not. You give them a gift and they don't know what to do with it. Okay, they don't know how to take advantage of a lot this way. They still know what they do. See, that's another element. Architects and builders, they get stuck in one design and they just want to carbon copy that design. Okay, they just want to continue what they've done before. And even when they get a great opportunity to execute something, their job is to turn this project around. They don't make more money if your house becomes more beautiful. You're just paying them to build it for you. Okay, in fact, initially they rush you through this phase. Okay, they rush you through the finalizing the architectural style and submitting the plans. Why? Because every time you submit a change order to the architect, it's going to charge you more. Every time you ask your contractor to do a change order, it will cost more. And these are serious costs, okay? Depending on the project, I'll go over it later on how expensive actually is to do change orders, time it takes, the permit process, pausing the frame, your finance, and just reversing something, right? That's how they make their money. They're not in the bit. It's not their flip, okay? It's not their flip. It's your project. So they rush you in the beginning, and you don't take advantage of it. Halfway through the project, when the studs are up, you're like, I wish we would have done this. They're like, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, we should do that. You're like, okay, well, how much do I'm going to charge you a design change. We're going to get new permits. It delays your project by 2 months, and then you build a house that you wanted, like it's your dream. It was supposed to be your dream home, and you wait and you're like, oh, it's too expensive now. And every day you go to the breakfast because you didn't allocate the breakfast nook in that corner by the vegetable garden. You're gonna be like, I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have done that, right? It's super important. This design phase is extremely important to pay attention to. Take it easy. Go critique back and forth. So what I'm teaching you right now, when we get to layout phase, you will learn how to do that stuff. So you have to really objectively critique the properties, okay? Now, what we have left is the worst. I have a funny story about this. This is the worst of the worst. Well, one time I got a call from this lady. She said, hey, I'm looking for a T intersection lot. I was like, why the hell did you call me? Like, are you serious? It's like, no, I'm a fortune teller, okay? I need signage. Okay, so it's so funny because there's always a best use. Okay, the concept of best use is fascinating in residential real estate, but there's always a best use for a property. And the best use for T intersection is for a property, single family home that is running a business. Otherwise, everything is negative. Okay, the only good thing is that you put a sign over here, and if this is a busy street, it's free marketing. Okay. But here are the negatives. Pros: highly visible for signage, commercial use. Purchase discount. You should get a really good discount, significant discount. You will see why. Dramatic front. You have a potential to have a really beautiful facade, which could distract people. And the cons are headlights and traffic noise coming in. So at nighttime, you're gonna have headlights driving in your living room. Okay, not good. Then you're gonna have lower desirability for families, cultural issues. Almost all the Oriental cultures. Okay, this is like they wouldn't tell you this. Like a lot of Americans don't know this stuff, but like if you come from China or Oriental culture, they know that's like big no. Okay, you don't build a house in front of another street coming in. I've seen drunk drivers go into houses of teas, right? Like you see the guy falls asleep over, again, well, we're talking about over like a 10-20 year ownership. It could happen. Don't doubt. At least in your very possible in the 10-20 year ownership, at some point somebody falls asleep and doesn't know what they're doing, and they come into hit your car or even your living room, right? It could happen. Again, think about how many times that happens day in, day out. It's just probabilities. Okay, so that's that. Now, here's the law. Oh my God, I'm so behind. Lot utilization worksheet. Okay, third, we finished 2. We're going to work on lot utilization. Okay, frontage. Okay, frontage. Less than 5 feet is horrible. 5 to 10 feet is bad. 10 to 25 feet is good. 25 feet and above is great. Okay, this is typically the standards that I believe, and it's not, you could argue it's not. Okay, but if you're here, you trust me, this is what I'm telling you. 5 feet back, anything, if your house is sitting on the street, is really bad. Okay, 5 to 10 feet bad, 10 to 20 feet good, 20 feet and above great. Okay, private driveway approach evaluation. There's all these elements affect how good your private driveway is. Okay, tree lined or not. Does it have a reveal? Is it a straight line or does it curve and then it reveals itself? Different, right? More valuable. Slope. Is it sloped up or is it sloped down? The width. Can one car go or 2 cars can go? Okay. Does a car has to wait over there if there's another car coming in, or you have the width that 2 cars can go back and forth? Okay. And the surface and the material, that not just is not slippery during the winter time, right? The slope also plays a big factor in this, in like say cold climate, winter climates. The surface, is it asphalt? Is it concrete? Is it like compact dirt? What is it, right? They're very, very important. Okay. Side setbacks. This is perhaps the least paid attention element, is side setbacks, and people don't do it. What I recommend to you, when you're planning to buy a house, before going inside the house, first walk around the property. Okay. When you're looking at a house, I don't walk into the house. Typically, if I'm serious about it, I first go from the side yard to the backyard and I come back from the other side. That's how I monitor a property. Okay. First, before I even go inside, I want to know how wide the setbacks are. Don't just stick your head out and look. Okay. Walk it to the backyard, come back from the other side, come back, cover the whole house, look at the facade, look how it looks like, right? Look at the neighbors, look at the side setbacks. These are the standards. 5 feet and under is horrible. Again, now you're like, Arvind, that's like my house. Yeah, my house is 5 feet and under too. I live in Venice. It's a standard. Good luck finding 10. But again, we're talking about luxury, okay? So if you find a house in Venice that has 10-foot setbacks on the side yards, that's better. That's good. That's a good thing, okay? So again, your neighborhood could have, the standard is 3 foot or 5 foot, and every house is like that. That's okay. Just know that if you ever find one that has better side setbacks, that's a plus. 10 to 20 feet, good. 20 feet and above, great. Okay. That's when you can start really fitting in a vegetable garden, a seating arrangement, a moment that will grab the buyer's attention. Backyard size, okay? So it goes by square footage. The backyard is how much usable land you have. Obviously, you want it flat, okay? But under 2,500 is just horrible. 2,500 to 750, just take 10, okay? If you're a meter guy or girl. So 250 meters to 750 meter is bad. So again, these are standards of what I feel in the urban world. Like, yeah, this would be this metric for like a ranch house in Ojai or in Wyoming would be horrible. Like probably the great one would be worse. Like that's the worst one you can get. But we're talking about city, city living. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. This is for like the bare minimum. Let's just say we're starting from the city, okay? These are the metrics that you should look into. Here's the homework. Are you guys ready? Okay, guys, we're almost done. Here's your homework. You have to do your homework and submit it, okay? I'm dead serious about this. If you don't do your homework, you're gonna not learn everything. Okay, this you only master this if you don't. If you want to be able to do what I do, okay, you need to start practicing. Okay, and if you have a project you're working on, I want you to exactly do the stuff we learned on the project you're working on. Okay, so what do you first do? First, I want you to watch 12 of my earliest YouTube videos. Very important. Okay, if you go to my YouTube channel, look at it from the oldest. Okay, don't watch my new stuff. This is the time when I sucked. You have to watch me when I sucked at making YouTube videos. Okay, but they're short videos. They're like 5-minute videos. I say 3 things good, 3 things bad. Okay, watch 12 of them. Okay, even though my performance is not good and I'm a little uncomfortable in front of camera, but you would learn a lot from those videos. Okay, watch 30 TikTok videos instead of Netflix tonight. I have you guys don't know this. I have 550,000 followers on TikTok. Okay, and I have a lot of properties that I actually score. So I start with a video saying I give this property a C, and here's why. Okay, and I go through my 10 principles of quality and I score them. Okay, watch 30 of them instead of Netflix. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of RV. I'm telling you, I'm coming to your dreams tonight. Okay, you're gonna I'm gonna be in there with you. Okay, add and this video 3 neighborhood features that boost your home value. I have a video. Okay, here's the URL. Watch this video as well. Okay, I go in a little bit more detail. I also use the Beverly Hills as an example. Okay, now property scoring exercise. Now, before I tell this, you want to talk about with your spouse. Okay, if you have a significant other, you should talk to them about what you learned today. Okay, if you don't get your spouse on the same page as you are and you're making decisions together, if you don't, and you can bring them sit next to you. Okay, I'm not going to charge you double. Okay, it's per family. Okay, so if you don't get them engaged in what you learn, you're going to have a lot of husband and wife fights when you start saying something and she or he doesn't know what you're talking about. Okay, so encourage to talk about, maybe when you're in bed, when you're hanging out tonight, be like, hey babe, like I learned this stuff today, and these are the elements that I learned. Let's score our own property. So what I would want you to also do, I want you to look at your own property and start scoring it, the location, lot utilization, and lot quality. Okay, on Google Maps. Get them involved, get them in there, because I'm telling you, by day 5, if you don't do this, your level of education with your spouse would be significantly different, and you would run into issues with them. I'm telling you, it happened last time. I didn't say this, and the people were like, "Oh, my spouse doesn't think so." I'm like, "Well, did you explain?" It's like, I can't explain that as good as you can. Okay, then you won't be able. If you're making decisions together, you need to get them on board from very early on. Okay, you're more than welcome to share the recordings with them as well. Okay, I don't mind it at all. Okay, so property scoring exercise. Pick 5 properties you personally know. So your current home is a really good one. Okay, do this with your spouse. At your parents' home, homes you lived in before, homes you know extremely well, home you plan on buying, your home of your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend or ex-wife or ex-husband. Okay, you homes that you know. Okay, start analyzing for fun. Just this stuff that I told you. Okay, and you're like, Arvind, I don't know what's a 10. Just try, don't get obsessed with the scoring. Okay, the way I've created a palette over time. Okay, so if you want to get to the level of, again, you're not going to become a master after you finish this. I can promise you won't become a master at this. Okay, I've spent way more hours than you have, 10,000 hours easy doing this. But if you want to get there, you need to start practicing now. Okay, if you want to be able to do your own project correctly, practice. Okay, I really believe in this. So do 5 homes and score location, score lot utilization, and score lot quality for all 3 of them. Okay, and then quick notes. Be honest. This is building your evaluation insight. So don't bullshit yourself. Okay, be honest with yourself, and don't worry about the actual score. You will adjust that. Okay, you will be like, oh, if this was a 6, maybe this is a 5. You go erase it and make it 5.5, right? You will get a hold of this. Okay, focus on what you feel and see, not what the listing said. Don't read the property description. That's propaganda. That's NS talking. Okay, so you want your own feel. Okay, trust your own instinct. I'm telling you, what I taught you right now. First of all, 99% of the agents don't even know this. real estate agents don't even know any of this stuff. You are by far, by day one, far beyond. Okay, what I just taught you today, I'll promise you, in your lifetime, just the location alone, okay, will have hundreds of thousands of dollars of financial impact to your net worth by the time you retire. I guarantee it. Okay, it will have that much effect on you. So trust your own instinct, believe in yourself, give a score, stand by it. And then in maybe day 5, you will go change the score. But that means you're getting good at it if you go change the score. Okay. And I'm giving you a spreadsheet. So you go download this. Okay. And you get to score it. So you don't even have to print it out, right? You have a place. And then hold this. By day 5, you might go and change the answers. Okay. Now, how many of you guys got way more value from day 1 than you thought you would get? Did I try to teach you everything I knew, or did I hold anything back? Did I hold anything back? Did I try to sell you something else? Okay. Was I honest in my approach? I really believe in eliminating buyers and sellers remorse in real estate. You guys are my people. Okay. You guys have supported me through my YouTube career, my consulting career. And I really want you guys to get good at this. I'm very passionate about this. Now, all the VIP people, if you're regular admission, I know from the last session, okay, that the VIPs, this was all lecture, okay? This was all lecture. VIP, you actually get to ask your question. I highly recommend upgrading, okay? You get significantly more value when you see me solve someone else's problem. Okay, I will solve you. I will give you hints. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm just being very clear. I'm not going to do the work for you, but I will. You will see my approach, and you will not just learn from the insights I will give about your property to you. You will also learn from what insights I give to other people, because I promise you, you don't even know the right questions to ask. And when someone else asks the question, you'll be like, oh, why didn't I think about that? Well, I wonder what that element is with my property. It is a wealth of knowledge. I think the VIP is 100% worth the value. Okay. And I ask people, you will see it by the day 1. I'll maybe day 2, I'll ask the people in the VIP to come and give testimonials. I'll bring them live to show you guys that you get a ton of value in the VIP, because you will see me like with no pride. I don't know what the hell you're working on. You're just throwing me on the spot, and I'm just going to give you what I know, right? Like I'm going to answer your question. It could be also any types of questions, okay? I love you guys. If you're regular admission, feel free to sign up. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for putting your trust in me. I'm here to serve you. I want you to not make real estate mistakes. So everybody in the chat say real estate mistakes are expensive. One more time. Real estate mistakes are expensive in the chat. Type it in. And change orders are expensive, okay? Delays in real estate are expensive, very expensive, okay? I love you guys. Thanks for putting your trust in me. Regular admission, arrivederci, ciao, and let's do the VIP, okay? Aaron, take me to the other room. Mwah. No one can hear you, Aaron. Aaron, no one can hear you.
It was a lip sync thing. I wanted to see how many of y'all can lip read. Most of you failed. I have ended the live stream on Facebook, and we are ready to enter the VIP segment. Let's go ahead. The way this is going to work is we're going to go around the room. You can raise your hand. So don't raise, like go into Zoom and hit, react and raise your hand. And if possible, type your question in the chat. It's preferable. What we really want here, remember what Arvin said, this isn't just about you asking him a question, it's about learning as much as you can. And the way that's going to happen is if we spend less time speaking and Arvin spends all of his time speaking. So keep your questions short, keep them concise. Arvin, tell me about this. Arvin, how do I do that? And allow Arvin, the stage. Perfect. Then in that case, please go ahead and raise your hands and we will start taking questions. I saw one earlier that I'm going to look for in the chat also. But in the meantime, go ahead. I think actually there it is, Nir. Perfect. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself so you can ask Arvin directly if you'd like.
Arvin, my brother.
What's up, my man? What's up? You guys want to hear good stories exactly with what's going on between Iran and Israel right now? This is a good story, okay? Near his younger brother Barak had just come from Israel, and I saw myself in him when I had come from Iran. Okay, he was completely clueless. He did not know what the fuck was doing. He was this young kid who had come, and he wanted to buy my car, and I really liked him. And he was like, he was really interested in my business, and he was like, I want to know what you do. And he joined. I hired him to work with me, and it just goes on to say that a lot of Iranians and Israelis, we have so many things similar to each other. Okay, we have so culturally we are so similar. We have the same jokes, we have the same friendships, we have so many good things with each other that I consider Barak and Nir. Nir, I know a lot less. I know his younger brother significantly, much better. But in everything that is going on in the world, is how close we should be as humans to each other, and how close we really are. Is a thing to not really allow all this stuff the politicians are doing, all the negative stuff that is going around to people, and just show love and appreciations towards each other. I treat Nir, Barak, his whole family like my own family, and I know he does the same with me. So Nir, welcome to the VIP Inner Circle. How can I help you, brother?
First of all, I can tell everyone you're cooler in real life. You know, you're really cool on your video, but in real life, you're even cooler, guys. So this is a great mentor for all of us. My question, how do you balance the appeal of a big private lot with the downside of being farther away from the main freeway? So, you know, I have a property, or we're looking at purchasing a property. You know, I beautiful how you kind of map it. You have the area where it's like, you know, everything looks the same, and then as you're building up distance, you start getting those bigger lots, more privacy, more space, more landscape. But the downside, especially when you're going up in the hillside, you have all those little streets, and if you want to go buy something, you're going to drive for 15 minutes. Do you see that as a downside, or in real life that doesn't really play a big part of choosing the right location?
It's really good question. Nir, it's not just those, okay? There's 10 principles. So you just talked about location, possibly views, you talked about hillside, the width of the street, okay? What's your flat area of the lot? It really is all of them, okay? And I'm not gonna like blow my own horn, but that's what you really, like, I could see that. I would teach you throughout this whole day, okay? By the end of the day, I'll promise you will be in a way better shape where you will analyze all this stuff, okay? You will look at all of them and like how much you can build there, how much elements you can actually implement over there, right? Then you will be able to have a way better understanding of what's the right decision for you, okay? And at what price, right? And what's your exit price? So a really, really good approach, if I was gonna like give you a quick answer right now, work backwards. Okay, work backwards. That's the you might not understand if you do it right now. You won't understand why the 10 factors, how the 10 factors played. You would just be like, I haven't seen a house this close to the freeway sell for more than this. Okay, now you wouldn't really know which principles were playing into each field. Okay, but you will get to an answer quicker if you want a quick answer. If let's say you're planning to submit a deal right now, you have an offer, you want to do it, and you don't have next few days to decide, work backwards from your exit price, okay? You won't know why, but you will get an answer as if it's a good move or not, okay? So in my by day 4, day 5, what you will learn is that you look at the final project, okay? You say, if I buy this lot, I can build a 10,000 square foot home for this avatar of a buyer. You need to have 3. I'll teach you how to pick 3 different avatars, okay? So you're going to go and say, okay, one of the avatars is going to be this guy in Beverly Hills who can't really afford the house he wants in Beverly Hills. He's going to come to Encino and buy that house in Encino because he's going to finally get everything he wanted. He's going to feel like he's got what he wants. Then you're going to get that person, another avatar of, let's say, his parents lives around here, okay? And he wants to be closer to his family, okay, for cultural reasons, whatever it is, okay? And the third element is let's say the guy who wants to downsize from a 30,000 square foot home to a 10,000 square foot home, okay? Then you take those 3 avatars, okay, and you design for them. Okay, you identify which avatar is larger in population, probability. You focus on one, but you also try to keep it open enough for the other ones. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes you have to go for a single avatar, okay? And then you really have to nail it, okay? It's a riskier strategy. But you really, really have to nail that avatar, then 100%. You have no room for mistakes, okay? But I typically like to keep the avatars wider to keep the playing field because you never know who's going to buy your house. And that always works from working backwards, right? So you would say, okay, how much is the guy who is going to pay me, who wants to downsize? He will probably pay you the most. Okay, this guy who wants to downsize from 30,000 square foot to a 10,000 square foot, he will pay you. Am I making sure I have room for his grandkids? Okay. Do I have sure? Is there a separate area? Does he have his own privacy? Does he have his own office? Right? Is it a multi-generational home for that buyer? Okay. Am I going to? That's one avatar. The other one is like person who's coming from Beverly Hills, and then you calculate how much money you have to spend on each one of them. Okay. And I do this for my inner circle clients. Okay. This is what I tell you, like 12 months of support. Okay. This is the stuff that when you say, Arvin, I want you to do it for me. Okay. This is the stuff that we do. We analyze which avatars to go for, how the lot sits on the lot. But I will promise you, by the end of this program, you will have a pretty good idea. Like you would know which avatar to go after if you do your homework. You would know which because we haven't even talked about avatars. We're going to talk about it day 4, day 5. So maybe keep that house in mind and focus on that house from today and score them. Right, so score that element by day 5. Like that's actually a very good practice. And if you guys are listening, if you're working on a property right now, like you want to make a decision, start really zeroing in on that property. Okay, and this is a great example for you. If this particular property is the one that you're thinking about, just bring it to it's a workshop, right? Like this is what we're working on, right? You actually can have a real life example of it. So let's work on that. And day 4, day 5, come again and let's ask more. Like we can ask more detailed questions. It's a little bit early for those questions because we haven't even covered the avatars and stuff. But I promise you, we'll be in a good position to kind of to make a decision by then.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much for
Michael.
the question. We'll move on to Meadow. Go ahead.
Hey there.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Hi, good. So, Gavin wanted to shoot a video of our property that's for sale in Big Sur, and we saw you shred the other one and got very afraid. So, I'm here as a student.
Okay. Well, welcome
Yeah,
to
thank
the
you.
inner circle. Well, the course, the 5-day course.
So I guess where we want to start is it's a 1-for-1 property. Obviously, all of Big Sur pretty much is. So how would you even start to rate the lot?
Look. I would start with comparing it with all available lots in Big Sur.
Okay.
Okay. So again, see the way I might give a property a 6, but that 6 in that neighborhood might be one of the best lots.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really about doing the homework. I want you to do this, please. Like when I say do the homework, you're not gonna have my palate. You're not gonna have my experience if you don't practice. I've done this day in, day out. I did this for 4 years before I even made a video. Okay, like of what I'm doing. Okay. So if you got to create the system, like a really good system is instead of 5 homes, you go and do the location of what's on the market right now. Okay. So
Yeah.
if you want to really create a palette and be able to like reach mastery, you take 10 properties instead of 5. Go give the 3 scores for location, lot quality, and lot utilization, and monitor those 10 properties of how they sold, how many days on the market, and how much they ended up selling for.
Right. So
Okay.
really long days on the market, 4 to 5 years on the market here.
Exactly. Right. Another thing is you can go to sold properties and do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If you want data because you don't know when it's going to sell, then ask your local realtor to go back and look at the properties that have sold in the past year, okay? And see, don't look at the answer, don't look at the price it sold. Look at how many days it's score the three elements in them, okay? And then afterwards, go look how many days they spend on the market to sell, okay? How much they ended up selling for. Those are all data points. So the reason why I can come in and look at this and immediately have an answer in my head is because I've done that for perhaps 40 different cities in the United States and maybe 20 different cities globally. And I've monitored and I do this. I love analyzing homes, right? And I have these data points where it's like an AI in my head. Like I don't even know why, but I give it a score, and it's really on.
Okay.
Very early on in my, and I'll tell you exactly how I fell into this. One of the main elements when I joined, I was on a TV show, Listing Impossible on CNBC. If you haven't got enough Arvind Hedad, you can go watch that one. But the head of the group, okay, he's dyslexic, okay, he's horrible with numbers, okay, horrible. He's a great salesman. He can sell. He's a good negotiator, but he could not pricing. Clueless, okay, street names clueless, still doesn't know, okay, just his brain is not wired that way. He would take me on listing appointments, okay, and I would give him hand signals, okay, I would be like 32 million, okay, like I would why? Because he immediately understood, and because I wanted to go listen to him and see what he says in listing appointments so I could learn from him to get listings. It was a relationship that I was listening to him and I was helping him with the numbers. And I focused more on being my analytical part to analyze properties. And then I just fell in love with it. I just fell in love with analyzing it. And I just thought it's such an inefficient marketplace that there's so many mistakes. And no offense to real estate people, but the most successful people in real estate are not even that smart. It's really not. It's so inefficient. This marketplace is so inefficient, and there's so much money that you can make if you know a little bit more than everybody else. Not even a lot. I'm going to teach you a lot more than everybody else. Okay, but if you just know a little bit of yourself, again, I don't like to brag about my finances and the stuff what I've done, but the properties I buy for myself, I nail it. Like I put 10 offers on the market. I open 3 escrows, and I buy 1 property. Like this house that I'm living on, I bought it for for my palette, like for my budget back then was what, like I think I bought it for, it was 4 years ago. I bought it for $2.5 million. Within 6 months, I appraised it for $3.25 million, and I hadn't done anything to it. Okay, nothing, no change, just knowing weakness by knowing palettes, what to buy, when to buy, right? Just seeing stuff that other people don't see. And what I can tell you is that you're in the right place. I'll promise you, I'll teach you everything I know. Okay, and focus on just scoring and creating palette. And instead of maybe doing what's on the market, look at what already sold. Okay, because you already have the answer. Right? You already know it took that many years. Okay, so this one was better. This is better, right? So you have perspective there.
Thanks.
And bring your project. Like I think we're gonna bring your project day 4, day 3. Share. This is a very private group. Ask your questions. We'll look at it. I will look at your properties. I'm here to serve you guys. Okay, so feel free to ask any questions you have.
Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Meadow. Next question from Sin. Sin, and I know you asked another question earlier, but that is very similar to Aman's next question. So you go ahead and ask the one about feng shui first. Go ahead. Sin.
Hi, Arvind.
Asking you to unmute yourself.
Hi, Arvind.
Hey,
Yeah,
what's up, buddy?
so
How you doing?
I'm
You
good.
from Singapore?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm actually into interior design. So I caught on your videos like for a few weeks back and binge watched most of it. So I was trying
Okay.
try to understand your thoughts on like in Chinese, we have this thing called feng shui, in which we try
Mm-hmm.
to create a formula for a particular position, for let's say the kitchen, for the bedroom, the living room, and then when I was watching a video, I realized that a lot of the things you shared has quite a bit of similarities to feng shui in a way you created a formula for where things should be and what is the optimal size, what is the optimal color. I think based on your experience in the property market. So my question is, how similar is your thinking and the analysis similar to feng shui, and how do we know what is best for the right property or the right space available?
Okay, there are two elements that you have to pay attention to. One thing is what you know is best. One thing is what the client wants. Okay, so don't ever try to change the mind of the client. Okay, I don't agree with everything in feng shui. Okay, but as far as your client, good luck trying to convince them it's wrong. Okay, unless you want to become a content creator and you want to educate people on everything. Okay, but if you're designing a property and the majority of the population believe in the feng shui, even if it's wrong, if you do something against it, okay, you could lower your buyer pool. So be aware of that, okay? Because it doesn't make sense, but people believe in it, okay? Now, this is my honest thought on feng shui. I think feng shui is mostly good, okay? Mostly there are elements that are right, okay? But at some point, it became a little bit of a pseudoscience, okay? Like there were certain things that were introduced. We have a saying in Farsi that we say, گر ندیدند حقیقت ره افسانه زدن. Okay, it says جنگ 72 ملت همه را نیک بود که ندیدند حقیقت ره افسانه زدن. Which means the fight of the 72 philosophers, okay, it starts from the point where when they couldn't seek the truth, they didn't have an answer, they made up stuff themselves, okay, to justify it, okay? So that is I think there's certain elements of feng shui that doesn't really make sense, okay, but it has become norm and accepted. But see, the whole point where I've dedicated my life to is reverse engineer your own feelings. Okay, you ask questions. Okay, you reverse engineering goosebumps. You reverse engineering the feeling that you get, and it takes a moment of meditation, a moment of clarity. When a space makes you feel some way, take a pause. Okay, and say what is it about this moment, right, that makes me feel good, right? What is it about this moment that makes me good? And when you ask that question, and you got to look at the smell, you got to look at the texture, you got to look at the color palette, you got to look at the volume, everything I teach you guys, if you notice, right? These are the 10 principles, right? The noise, right? These are the feelings that makes you feel good, okay? So think about that, and I think you could wave your design philosophy in and out of feng shui, okay, according to your clients, but most importantly, you for your own sake, okay, would know why you're doing it. And if you want to move the needle, which I hope you're motivated to do, you're a young person who's, you're investing money in your own education here. Because I know you told me you're not planning to buy or sell a property, or design a property. You're doing this for other people. Is that you want to move the envelope, and you might find something. Not might. You will find an element, okay, that would be your thing. That, oh my God, if I combine this and this and this, right, I can create a magical moment. And if that magical moment, because I took 3 of these principles and added a little salt and pepper, created a recipe of a feeling that, combined. So be more interested in what you can, cooking up your own recipes, okay, than following feng shui. And again, reverse engineer how you feel. Take a pause, take it in, write it down. I like this because, right? I like this space made me feel good because, and then write it down. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, I just understand it that because we are all human, so we kind of have very similar feelings to things. So that's the best way to know that something is good design. It's first of all, it's based on my feeling, I feel good, and then this have a high probability that someone else will feel good about it.
Yeah, and but also looking at the data,
Okay.
right? So at the end of the day, you got to see if it's sold or not, right? How others. So I think the again, I don't like to self promote, but one of the elements where I was really successful, I'm successful at what I do, is not just I have the opinions. When I show properties, when I take, I'm a real estate agent, okay? I show $10 million homes, $20 million homes, $100 million homes. I have a buyer in Los Angeles on an $80 million home right now, okay? The properties I'm showing it, I'm not one of those idiot real estate agents that goes in and starts giving an NS tour to the agent. Here's the kitchen. Here's the. You know what I do during the showings? I shut the hell up. I do not say a thing. Okay. I am looking at my client. Okay. I am looking at the frown. Did he squint his eyes? Did he take an extra pause in this moment? Did he turn around and go back to that room again? And I ask you a question. What do you like about this room? When I'm showing $20 million homes, $100 million homes, I'm the one learning there, right? Because I'm looking at a willing, capable buyer who can buy that property. Okay, and I'm taking data points. I'm taking data points. Oh, he likes this. He doesn't like this. 90% of idiotic, stupid real estate agents, they are trying to persuade their client when they're in a position to learn, okay, to take a data point. So I think I have an advantage in being a real estate agent in that regard. And you should look at, I'm sure in your field, you're educating yourself, you can put yourself in a position of seeing or just listening to your own clients a little bit more, okay? When they say something like, oh, I really like this, okay? Like, don't try to bring in your own element. Try to understand why they like it, okay? What is the, ask by asking more questions, okay? So you ask questions like, why is it that you like this, right? So try to understand what's happening in their brain, because it's not just what you think, okay? And you will, I can tell you, if I can go critique the first video I made of NS's channel and go and critique my own critique right now, because I'm a different person, okay? My palette has improved since I made my first video. 300 videos later, okay? It's better now. It's a lot better now than my first video. When I look at my older videos, I cringe. I'm like, I didn't say this, I didn't say that, I should have known this, I should have known this. But that's life, right? Like that's life. You're learning. So I think it's super important that you be obsessed with learning and not just your palette, other people's palette, and take the information in. Guys, we have 5 days, so we're gonna answer everybody's question. Okay, don't worry about. Should we
And
go
we're following an order, so
Okay.
we'll follow the order of the questions you've asked, and then if anything spills over, we start with them tomorrow. And very important, just to clarify against what Arvind says, this is where the personas class is going to come in handy. So many people, whether in real estate or in absolutely any field, just do what, like they build a product without a target audience in mind. And then they either hope people like it, and then they're sad when people don't. It maybe works, maybe you're too much risk is being taken here. It's so different when you have a target persona in mind and do it specifically for them. Your chances of hitting the bullseye are so much higher. Thank you so much. The next question I think you will appreciate, because Aman Shah from Mumbai. High five, bro. That's where
What's
I'm
up? Do you guys know what Shah means? Shah is Indian, and there's some Indian and Persian words are the same. Shah means
Royalty,
king. Means king.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. King.
Hi there.
It's a very important question also, Aman. You have a very relevant question. Go ahead.
My question is that whatever we learn in these 5 days, these are about luxury, ultra luxury, but lots and properties work very different in most parts of the world than it does in this western side, in the States. So if I have to translate what I learn from you in these 5 days in, let's say, flats of 1,000 square feet, 2,000 square feet, how would I approach? How should I take a look at it? Because land does not work like that here in Mumbai, at least.
Okay.
Because
So are you saying? Okay, go ahead.
yeah, your the last video that you made of the Mumbai thing also. When I saw it, I was like, I saw it before your critique, and I was like, okay, he will say this, he will say this, he will say this. This is how he is going to critique the property, and it was very fascinating. So yeah.
Okay. So tell me, I want to help you in Mumbai. Okay. So tell me what part of Mumbai is different than you're talking about lot sizes. Is that what you were
No,
talking
so
about?
Arvind, I think just to clarify, correct me if I'm wrong, Aman, but it's basically how do these principles apply to apartments, not homes?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
does it apply
It
there?
does.
And same with Sin because it's Singapore, same thing.
Okay.
I live in the
So
UAE, same thing.
I will tell you, layout the same. Layout is the principle is very similar. Okay. Now you're stuck with the same layout at the upper floor and the lower floor. Okay. So you have limitations. You can't build out, right? Okay.
Right.
But you can't build up. You can give a balcony. You can take sometimes they allow you to give a balcony out, right? But it becomes more focused on the internal layout, right? Where do you position the entrance, the bedroom distribution? Okay, it becomes more focused on elements of wow factor is still there. Okay, how to create a wow factor, how to create separation, put the bedrooms next to each other, your proximity to the kitchen, your proximity to the TV room, the formal living area. So all those elements still play a part. Okay, the elements that don't apply into the location still plays, right? Like where are you in that location? Like right when you come out of your house, where are you in that neighborhood, right? Views apply, which a lot of single family homes views are not an element. Very few of them. You have to be hillside, right? But with apartments, you might have views. And there are elements that you have to pay attention. That's why I have a different scoring system for apartments. For example, I have a building HOA, right? Like a building amenities, right? What is covered in the building? Do you have reserves? Like for example, what are the building reserves? Is there financial reserves? Is there any lawsuits on the property? Has there been any like one of the main things you got to pay attention to HOA is that on the board of HOA, how many lawyers are there? Okay, that could significantly impact it because when you have too many lawyers, a lot of times you have fights. Okay, everyone gets too technical on the law, and it just causes problems on the board, right? So there are elements and I will answer your questions throughout. Okay, if you have a question about a condo, think of a property you want to bring. Okay, to the questions. I think we will be able to answer everyone's questions in the VIP. Okay, so I will address them one by one.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aman. Okay, let's see. Who do we have next? 1 second, just clarifying. We have Aman, we have Meadow. I hope I say this right, but Vuk, a very long question in the chat. Gonna go and ask you to unmute yourself. 1 second. Is he still here? They may not be here. Oh, yep, I see you. Asking you to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Sorry for my English, it's not so perfect.
Where are you from?
I'm from Bosnia, Herzegovina.
Oh, Herzegovina! Welcome. I've been to Croatia, never to Bosnia, but I love the food and the culture down there. Very warm people. Go ahead.
So I have a question about some lot. Its neighbor is church, and I sent also some picture. So I would like to know: is this an disadvantage or is neutral position?
Is this the picture that there's a map that you sent?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you drop the address really quick? Drop the address in the chat, and I'll just look at it on Google Earth really quick for you.
Just a moment. So it should be.
We're going to Herzegovina, guys. Who's ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. So I will share this coordinates.
Yeah, guys, if you have property pictures, websites, address, have them ready when you come to ask your questions, okay? Again, I think we were going to cover everybody in VIP, so you get to at least ask one question, and if I answer everybody's question, you would get to ask another question.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Also, Mike, hopefully I haven't skipped anyone, but if so, please point it out to me. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I believe so far so good, but if that is the case, don't worry, we'll rectify it very quickly.
Okay, so I like to zoom out even farther. Okay. So, like another element of we didn't even speak about airports, right? Like these are things that you want to know where you are. There's a train station here. Okay, so there's an industrial zone. You can see the train station. There's a big freeway. This seems to be the main town center. So you're kind of equally distanced from two major roads here. Okay, there's a stadium here. I think it is could be a school or a university probably. And again, I like to kind of look at everything else before we kind of zero in. This is okay. Now I'm looking at lot sizes now. Okay, so okay, like you see over here seems to be slightly bigger lot sizes than this street. Okay, over here it seems like it's a planned neighborhood. I like to stay away from those. And then I'm looking over here. These are apartment complexes. Okay, so a couple issues right off the bat. Okay, so not just you have. This is a great question, guys. I'm so glad that you brought this up. Okay, this is like he's worried about the church. Okay, but which look, we can look at it. Okay, but his actual, you should be more worried about this building, looking into it, and this building towering over it. Okay, this is a negative. Okay, so yes, the church is not ideal. Okay, because obviously they have certain people. You're gonna have traffic on Saturdays or Sundays. Now, if you're a really religious person, then it could be a positive. But then that should be your avatar, right? So think about it. Like if you're again, these are all like feeds that you take in. Okay, so if you're remodeling this property, you would be like, okay, so maybe I would design this property for someone who is also religious and is wants to attend this church, or maybe even works at this church, or the priest, and this is a big factor for them. Okay, now is this the big lot? This is the entire lot. Can you answer that question?
It should be. At the moment, it's just this one. Where is the mouse now? Another one.
This is the property, right?
Yeah.
Smaller one.
It's a smaller lot.
Yeah, it's smaller lot.
Okay, so another element that you haven't paid attention. This is a corner lot. This is not good. Okay, so corner lot in a city is not a good thing. Okay, for a residential property, this lot is way better. Not the second one, but the third one. Okay. So I can promise you, tell you what is happening here. But you're finding this property to be a good deal. Okay, it probably is on the market, and you're looking at it as like, oh my God, I can afford this. This is a good deal. Okay. Now I don't want to discourage you from buying it. Okay, but it significantly has multiple problems. One is that you have two front setbacks from the main street. Okay, so you have a setback from here that is probably defined by the street. You can't go too close to it. I don't know the regulations, but typically these are the case. And the wider the street is, the bigger the setback you're gonna have. Okay, so your actual usable, where the city even allows you to put the house, is not good. And even if you can put it closer, okay, the noise of the street will hurt you. Now, a trick to this would be, if the city allows you to get closer, what you want to do is hedge the property, move the house as close to the street, okay, to at least create an oasis in your backyard on this side. Okay, so you will plant hedges around the property to block the noise, and you get closer to the noise. Okay, and then you position the bedrooms and the elements in the house like an L-shaped home, where a corner house is a really good design. And you try to position the elements like the guest bedrooms by the street, elements that you don't typically use, and then the rooms that you actually use, you put it on the less busier street you do. But overall, just analyzing it, there's a lot of negatives. Units from this building have a direct view into your backyard, even if you make it an oasis. Not good. Okay? Not good. You're too close to a commercial multi-family. Remember I told that in the first session? You want to be farther away. Like if you compare it with this house, do you see how there's no, like the first commercial building is farther away? Okay, this is the close. So you're way too close to the commercial zoning right now. This is not ideal. And you're on a corner lot, on a busy corner lot, which is again not ideal. And you have a church in front of you. So it's like negative, negative, negative. So I would try to get a good deal on a good property. Okay, of course you can get a good deal on a subpar property. And maybe you didn't even get a good deal. You just got the fair market value. Okay, and just because this is the property you can afford, that doesn't mean you should buy it. Okay, now, so that's my advice to you. I see a lot of negatives.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Also, to clarify in the chat, it seems like Zoom, because a few messages appeared in the same minute, I'm not necessarily seeing the same order that some of you are, but don't worry, because worst case, it just means one or two names are slightly, moved around up or down. We're going to answer absolutely everyone's question.
Everyone, if you pay for VIP, at the very minimum, if you pay for VIP, I don't care how many hours it takes, you're going to get at least one question answered. Okay, at the very minimum.
For sure. This is the list order that I see. I've put it in the chat, and I'm going to keep following it because it still means you will all get a chance. Mike is next. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Arvin, how you doing?
What's up, Mike? How you doing, guys? Where are you guys from?
We're in LA. So we enjoyed watching one of your videos on the 1024 North Orlando on West Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So we actually bought a home on the 1000 block of Orlando last year.
I know that block really well. Okay.
Right. And we bought that home thinking we're going to tear down and build. And we actually submitted a plan last week, for a pretty significant size home for that lot. So ours is a corner lot right on Romaine and North Orlando.
Would you drop the address really quick?
1002 North Orlando.
We're going back to LA, guys. Sit tight. Fasten your seatbelts.
Yes.
1002
North Orlando.
So, guys, this street, for the ones that for you guys don't know, these are the most expensive lots in West Hollywood. Okay, very rare. They're like 10,000 square foot, if I remember, minimum.
12,000. Ours is 12,000, 1250.
12,000. Yeah.
12,250. Yeah.
Yeah. These are. But they have issues. You'll see. This is.
We have issues. Yeah, we know.
Can you spot the issue, guys? In the in the thing. You see this building behind you? Okay, that's an issue. Okay.
Yeah, we have a big apartment. Luckily, there's some trees that are hiding some part of it. Not everything is exposed. But so initially, we bought this home last year. We had plans. We submitted it last week. Since then, our priorities have changed. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, go ahead, Mike. Just saying, Arvin, we don't see your screen yet if you're sharing, yeah?
Oh, I'm not? I'm so sorry. Sorry.
Please go ahead, Mike.
Okay, yeah, since last year, when we purchased the property, our priorities have changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking, because, one of the issues is a lot of crimes, homelessness in that area as well. So we're thinking our priorities are to go to a family-oriented, more of a quieter community. So even though we spent money, time on the plans, we're now thinking, buying somewhere else. And we've already put significant amount of time and investment. So we feel like we're probably going to lose money on this property.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions was, in your opinion, is it the right decision? And I know every situation is different, but for us to take the loss now or build it out and try to sell it later after the build, yeah.
Would you need the funds to buy another property or not?
I would actually.
Okay.
So yeah, because if we're gonna build it, we would need. Yeah, I wouldn't have enough funds to build it.
No, what if you park it? What if you park it, and just let's get the plans, finish the plans, okay? But could you just not start the project and purchase another property?
That could be an option. We do have some carrying costs, so ideally we would like to sell it. If possible. Now, we're willing to sell it for a loss, because obviously, even if we sell it for the price that we bought it for, we would still have loss in it.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so that's the question. How much loss should we absorb versus, if what's the risk of building it and trying to sell it?
Which neighborhood are you planning to purchase? Where do you want to be? How many kids do you have? Where are you with the family situation? By the way, I love the fact that you guys are joining together. It's such a good idea. If you have a spouse, you want to get them involved, it's such a good idea. Okay. Tell me, what is how many kids?
We have 2 young kids, 3-year-old, 6 month, 3-year-old and a 6 month. We're not sure exactly where, but some of the places are like Brentwood, maybe. Yeah. Another question we had is, rebuilding in Pacific Palisades, if that's worth it, or maybe even going down to like Orange County, Newport Beach, somewhere like that. Or buying Newport Beach, yeah.
Okay.
More family-oriented place.
You would be okay.
That is it.
Are you living in this property right now?
No, we're not.
Where do you live right now?
Away.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes away from there.
Where?
La Brea and Melos.
Okay. Well, have you started looking at other properties on the market? What's out there?
Just online, not in person.
Okay. What is your budget to purchase?
We're probably if we do another tear down, we're probably looking at, I don't know, 2.3, 3 million, 3.5, somewhere around there.
So you kind of want to build your dream home. That's the goal, right?
Or $1 million.
Okay.
Or the perfect house.
Okay, so let me give you some just overall strategy right now. Okay, I wanted to kind of sit on this because it's an important decision. Okay, so I'll give you some of your answer today, and then hopefully we'll bring you back towards the end. Okay, because I feel like we're gonna have hopefully more than one question per person. Okay, but I'll tell you this. Right now in Los Angeles, the best deals, okay, are homes that are in your situation right now. So like, for example, right now for you on your sell, okay, there are not that many buyers looking to buy. Developers are not looking at new projects. They want to dump their current projects. Okay, they are stuck. They're carrying costs. So I'm talking about where are the deals? Okay, the deals are not tear downs, right? And then fixers. And also you can find certain deals in certain price points, okay, on new construction. Now, the market was definitely going down, but because of fires, we just took out 10,000 homes off the inventory. Okay, 10,000 homes disappeared off the supply, which even if you think 50% of those people would still want to live in LA, that's 5,000 people who either have to rent or buy. So it is putting pressure on prices and not letting it go down for certain neighborhoods in certain areas, right? So for example, if you're telling me Brentwood is hot right now, okay, because a lot of the Palisades people are interested to purchase in Brentwood, okay, or Santa Monica. Santa Monica is on fire, okay? There's so much demand, okay? But some neighborhoods are also, for example, Manhattan Beach is on fire. Studio City is doing good, okay? It really depends. I would like to kind of know more before I tell you. It's so hard. Like I feel such a level of responsibility to just give you an answer of what you should do without knowing more. Do you know what I mean? Can we spend some more time answering the questions? And maybe if I see the pictures of this property, your plans, I think it will really kind of help me. Like, depends on, like, for example, I want to know how good your plans are. Okay. Like, for example, is this something I would have approved or not? If you've done really good plans and I think you could fix it and sell it for a really good price, then I might give you a different advice. You see what I'm saying? We're like on the first date, and it's too early to give you. I feel responsible to not give you an answer on it till I get to know your situation a little bit more. I hope you understand that. I'm not trying to run away from your question. I'll promise.
We know it's not a simple answer, guys.
I'll promise to have a good answer by the end of this situation for you. But I just kind of wanted to get to know you a little bit more, and I think through this 5 days, give me more. Maybe email your plans, or Aaron, would you like? I will take a quick look at their plans.
Perfect.
To maybe we'll do it after we've answered everybody's questions once, and then I'll take a quick look in front of everybody so people can learn from it too. Because I already kind of know what I would do with that house when I looked at it. Like I have a couple ideas right off the bat. I want to know if we're in the same boat on that one or not. And that could significantly change my answer.
Okay.
Okay. Fair?
We can absolutely do that.
You're not upset with me, are you?
No, definitely not.
Okay, good.
You're not upset with me either, right, Mike? I
Oh,
didn't
no,
skip.
definitely not. No.
Okay, guys, last time I was doing the workshop, by day 3, I had almost lost my voice, okay, because I'm not used to talking this much, and I make videos too, so I'm constantly talking. So I'm going to cut the, maybe we can answer one more, because the thing went out 10 minutes, right, the regular admission. I'll answer one more. I'll promise you everyone's going to get their answer, okay, at least one, okay? And remember, if you think you would save your question for later, you'll get a better answer, do that, okay? Because I can't guarantee more than one answer. Like that's why I'm parking them, because I want to make sure I give them a better answer later on. So if you want to go next, let me know. Who wants to go next?
Michael's up next. Michael, go ahead. I'll drop. So Michael has shared a Google Maps link. Let me put it in the chat. Second. Here, you can open this up, Arvin. You're also trying to share a PDF, but that isn't quite working. How important is the PDF, Michael?
The PDF shows an outline of the proposed house on the 80-acre parcel and how it would sit back, but I can probably describe that to you. And unfortunately, I actually had a scheduling conflict with this, so I'm not where I have access to be able to use multiple screens and things like that, and I just can't figure out how to get it over to you. So
don't worry, buddy. Michael, I'm here for you. I don't get an actual address. Do you have a street address you can send me?
It doesn't have an address. You want me to? I'm gonna try to get in and try.
Why don't you share?
I didn't know if you were gonna pull it up on the screen for everyone to see. Otherwise, I can just pull that up.
I think. Aaron, can we give him access to? He can share your screen. So by the way, guys, on my inner circle. Actually, I'm not going to talk about inner circle because this is what we do. Everybody. So people pitch in. So I critique it, but other people, like we have developers in the inner circle, or they will give their 2 cents too. So you get a bunch of people helping at the same time. But go ahead.
Excellent. So this property.
Did you allow him to share his screen?
Yeah. You should be able to now, Michael. Are you trying?
Okay, let me see if. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, I see. Okay. So this property, I bought it about 20 years ago.
Oh my God! How old were you? You were bawling back then, huh?
Yeah, I was in my 30s, and anyhow, it's 80 acres, and it's basically 2 40-acre squares deep.
Okay.
And it literally takes 15 minutes to get from that property to the northeast side of Madison, Wisconsin. And
is it halfway between Milwaukee and Madison, would you say?
No, it's not. It's Columbus, Wisconsin is like I said, about 15-20 minutes northeast of Madison.
Okay. So close to College Town.
It would be the Green Bay corridor going from Madison to Green Bay.
Okay.
So my question was, how far until it starts affecting the value? I mean, obviously the value because this is going to be a legacy property. It will be a very large property. Don't ask me the square footage because I didn't get into one of those traps where you pick out the square footage and then you try to fit it all in like on your videos. But I will say I've kind of put in what I want in, and it's pretty big. It's somewhere around 25 to 30,000 square feet, I think. So
wow, okay, that's solid.
It's a legacy property for me, my kids, and people that come after. And I'm just curious. I'm not so interested in a sale down the road, but I also am interested in how far is too far or too close. So that's why I sent the Google map, and I will try to pull that Google map up. If you look at Columbus, do you have that up right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. If you look to the west of
Perhaps
Columbus,
Arvin, at least you share screen at least so we have a visual then.
Okay, I think, Michael, if you share the screen, it would be better because I don't know there's so many empty lots there. I don't know which one you're at.
okay, I'm trying to pull it up. It's pretty easy to find, actually.
Okay, then I'll try.
So what you're looking at is you're looking at Columbus.
I'm looking at Columbus.
It's a historical little town north of Madison. It's to your right. And then if you look to your left, you'll see State Road 60 going to your left, which is to the west. See that?
Yep, I do.
I'm at my sister's house right now, and that's her dog's barking.
Okay, that's fine.
So then if you'll see State Road 60 intersects with Schaefer Road. See that?
Yes, I see Schaefer, yes.
All right, then you head south, and you'll see a wooded area.
Yes, I do.
And it's on the right-hand side of Schaefer Road. You see the woods there?
Okay, so if I'm driving south on Schaefer on the right-hand side.
Right, and what there is there's
I see one house there.
Right, there's no house there right now, but there's a patch. If you zoom in, you'll see a rectangular area.
Is this it? Do you see my
one patch of farmland right by the road? It's a smaller patch. And then right to the right, so east of that, there's another like 40-acre parcel. And then if you zoom in, you can kind of see that there's like a pathway going through the wooded area up to that second 40-acre parcel. And I actually
how far down Schaffer Road? Like right off the bat or farther down? How far down Schaffer?
Okay, so you see one house on the left there, right? When you're going down Schaefer Road, there's a driveway. And there's a house on the left.
We somehow ended up in Arizona. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so
we're back.
So is it between State Road 60 and what's the other road? K something. Hold on.
Yeah, it's in between there. It's in between there. It's in between there. If you started Highway 60, and you're going south on Schaefer Road. If you were going south, you'd see to your right there's a house with a long driveway right in the wooded area.
Yes.
Okay, then go a little further.
Okay.
All right. And what you'll see is there's another farm that would be on your left. See that? A little further down. And then do you see that there's like a small agricultural tillable area just north of that farm?
On the left side?
On the left-hand side, if you're going down the road. It would be on your right-hand side when you're looking at the picture.
Okay.
All right. See that farm? Okay. You see that farm area?
Yes.
Okay. And then if you look just to your right of that little farm area, there's another egg area kind of right to the right of that, but there's like a wooded area and grassy area in between it.
Yes, I see this. Is this it?
Okay,
do you see my
that's
screen?
the parcel.
Okay.
That's the parcel. It starts with the road.
Okay.
It goes all the way down to where that other farm is on the
Here.
right-hand side of the picture, or the left-hand side of the road.
Okay,
And it
here.
goes
This
out
is your
to
property
the tree
line?
at the end of that second egg patch. So it's that whole rectangle.
Michael, do you see Arvin's screen right now?
No, I'm looking at my own screen.
Okay,
Well,
look at
then
my screen.
try,
Is
look
this
at
it?
Zoom.